Have you ever felt like a foreign body in your own life? Like the entire world is operating on a consensus, a shared, unspoken agreement, and you are the only one who has quietly, terrifyingly retracted your signature? There is a critical moment in the human journey, a cognitive earthquake that shatters the comfortable illusion of normalcy. It is the moment you finally, truly see. See that the anxiety that clings to you is not a flaw in your design, but the inevitable consequence of trying to live a lie. See that the frantic pursuit of success, status, and approval is simply a complicated ritual designed to distract you from the terrifying silence of the present. This initial vision, this sudden clarity, is often mistaken for freedom. But Alan Watts teaches us that true liberation always comes with a price. A brutal, inescapable price. You are witnessing the end of your easy participation in the collective dream. The rules of the game that you once played with such conviction, the endless striving, the comparison, the fear of being nothing, they have all dissolved into smoke. You look around and see others still chasing those shadows with desperate sincerity, and you realize you can no longer genuinely join their pursuit. The very ground of your relationship shifts. Your conversations feel like noise. Your familiar comforts become hollow echoes. This is the brutal cost. It is not the price of ignorance but the necessary tax on wisdom. It is the profound isolation that accompanies lucidity. Watts warned that we try to manage life by imposing our will upon it, like trying to grasp water. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away. The truth you have been exposed to is that life is not about grasping, but about experiencing the flow. And the first step toward embracing that flow, even with its isolating consequences, is total, brave acceptance. You must acknowledge that the insight you've received is both a profound gift and a profound burden. If you recognize this burden, if you understand that freedom demands this sacrifice, then claim it. Commit to this new difficult path. Say it to yourself and write it in the comments below as a silent oath to the universe. I accept the cost of truth. This affirmation is your key. It is the commitment required to navigate the solitary terrain that lies ahead, the terrain that we will explore in the coming parts of this deep reflection. The journey into the cost has only just begun. Music becomes more uplifting, resonant, and expansive, while still retaining a philosophical depth. Yes, the initial shock of clarity is the brutal price we spoke of. It strips away the comfort of conformity and leaves you standing in the chilling solitude of awareness. But understand this: what you are experiencing is not an ending, but a profound and necessary clearing of the ground. The loneliness you feel is merely the echo of the unreal connections fading away. It is the space being created for something infinitely more resilient and authentic to grow. Alan Watts provides the perfect map for this terrain. He reminds us that we are not separate, isolated egos struggling against the vast cosmos. Instead, we are the whole universe in the unique form of a person. The pain of losing your former social self, the one who desperately sought approval and played the games, is the necessary prerequisite for discovering your universal self. The freedom of the empty space. Embrace this isolation, for it is the richest soil for the cultivation of your genuine being. When you cease to be obsessed with the external clamor, what society expects, what your peers are doing, you finally create the silence needed to hear your own unique rhythm. This is the ultimate hope that comes with seeing the truth. The end of pretense is the beginning of possibility. Watts believed that the universe is fundamentally playful, and when we stop taking the social games so seriously, we become available to the true, joyous adventure of existence. You are no longer bound by the rigid scripts and roles. This newfound solitude is your invitation to build connections based on truth, not convenience or fear. You are now free to engage with life and people not out of necessity, but out of pure delight. You have been given the rare and precious opportunity to choose your relationships, your passions, and your purpose from a place of genuine desire, rather than societal pressure. This brutal price, then, is not merely a loss. It is a profound gift of space. A space for creation, a space for fearless love, and a space where the universe, finally unburdened by your small, fearful ego, can begin to flow freely through you. The isolation you feel is temporary, the authenticity you gain is eternal. Welcome to the dawn of your real life. The best is yet to come. Music continues the uplifting, expansive tone from part 2, but becomes more intimate and deeply resonant, emphasizing emotional depth. We have spoken of the brutal price, the isolation that comes when the veil is lifted, the solitude that follows the shattering of the grand illusion. But now we must walk further into the cost, into the most sacred and terrifying territory of all, the exposure of the heart. The price of seeing the truth demands not only that you abandon the crowd, but that you dismantle the formidable emotional fortress you spent a lifetime building. For most of your life, you have operated from a position of defense, armed with the shields of your ego and the impenetrable walls of your pretense. You sought refuge in roles, the successful one, the knowledgeable one, the one who has it all together. These roles were meticulously crafted to hide one central, shimmering, vulnerable truth. You are utterly, beautifully insecure. And the profound insight of Alan Watts is this: your attempt to be secure is precisely what makes you insecure. To see the truth is to realize that security is the biggest fraud in the universe. To demand that life be predictable, that love be guaranteed, that sorrow be avoidable, this is the source of all suffering. And the brutal price you must now willingly pay is the surrender of this demand. You must drop the shield, stand naked in the gale of life, and trust that you will not only survive but thrive. This is the emotional cost, the terrifying freedom of vulnerability. The moment the veil drops, you realize the tremendous energy you wasted maintaining your facade. That constant, exhausting performance designed to manipulate others into affirming your existence is suddenly revealed as pointless. Now, the truth demands a new kind of courage, the courage to be simply and undeniably seen for who you are, flawed, impermanent, and breathtakingly human. Watts understood that we are caught in a cosmic dance, but we are terrified to let go of the rigid steps we memorized. We try to control our partners, dictate the music, and demand to know the ending of the dance before we even begin. The price of awakening is finally letting go of the need for control. It is the realization that to fully participate in the dance of life, you must be willing to be stepped on, to stumble, to feel the exquisite agony and ecstasy of being completely in the moment without guarantees. This is the only place where true, unconditional love can ever be found. Consider the profound emotional depth of this commitment. When you surrender the need for security, you open yourself to a love that is vast and unconditional, because it asks for nothing in return. Most people trade love for safety. They demand contracts, promises, and assurances before they dare to open their hearts. This is not love. This is a transaction based on fear. But the brutal price you pay, the loss of your safe, predictable world, allows you to experience love as an overflow, as a pure, generous giving that Watts described as the eternal relationship between the self and the universe. Your isolation, the loneliness we discussed, is actually the necessary fire that burns away the artificial boundaries between you and the world. It is a profound, emotional purification. And while the fire is hot, the result is crystal clarity. You realize that your deepest fear, the fear of being exposed, of being unloved, of being lost, is merely the ego's final desperate cry. And as that cry fades, a deep, silent, unshakable joy takes its place. This is the unconditional hope woven into the fabric of the brutal price. It is the profound relief of knowing you no longer have to pretend. You are allowed to be weak. You are allowed to fail. You are allowed to be perfectly imperfect. And in that allowance, in that ultimate vulnerability, you connect with others, and with the universe itself, on a level that was entirely inaccessible when you were busy wearing the armor of the ego. The journey now moves from seeing the truth to living the truth. It is a life lived without shields, without masks, and without the desperate need for outside affirmation. This is the emotional breakthrough, the moment you realize that the brutal cost was actually the greatest bargain. You traded a lifetime of pretending for a single precious moment of being completely, authentically, and courageously you. And that, according to Watts, is the only success that ever truly matters. Embrace this vulnerability, for it is the highest form of spiritual power. It is where you finally begin to love what is real and to be loved in return. You have paid the brutal price in clarity and solitude. You have paid the emotional cost in vulnerability and the dismantling of the ego's defenses. Now, having accepted the burden of the truth, you stand at the most critical juncture, the courage to live this transformation. The world will tell you that change requires a brutal, grinding effort, a forcing of your will against resistance. But Alan Watts would laugh at this delusion. He knew that the most profound and revolutionary changes in life arise not from trying harder, but from surrendering wisely. The brutal price you paid was the removal of the very resistance that blocked your change. You no longer need to struggle against the current, because you have finally accepted the nature of the river. The old self was dedicated to the futile task of paddling upstream, frantically trying to control the uncontrollable flow of time, people, and circumstance. The new self, liberated by the truth, recognizes that true action, the kind that moves mountains and transforms lives, is rooted in non-action, or wu wei as the Taoists call it. It is the action of allowing, the effortless movement of the universe through you. This is the great encouragement we offer you now. Stop trying to change and simply begin to flow. The change you seek is not a destination, it is a state of being. Your life is not about finding yourself, but about realizing that you are the path. Stop demanding that your environment conform to your expectations. Stop waiting for external conditions to signal that you are safe to proceed. The only courage required now is the courage to be spontaneous, to trust the moment, and to recognize that the intelligence of the universe is not just out there, it is operating as you. What does this mean for your daily life? It means you now have the clarity to walk away from the commitments that are not authentically yours, to speak the truth even when your voice shakes, and to pursue the endeavors that stir your soul, regardless of whether they offer the false security of social validation. Your fear of failure was part of the old self. It was the ego's mechanism to keep you small and safe. But Watts showed us that failure is merely a movement in the dance, a necessary part of the rhythm. The truth has given you the greatest superpower, the ability to let go. The courage to change is simply the courage to release the outcome. Release the past, release the need to justify yourself, and release the future you were desperately trying to control. Embrace the vibrant, chaotic, uncertain spontaneity of the present moment, because that is where the real life, the life unscripted and unbound, is finally happening. Do not delay your life any longer. The transformation is already complete in the seeing. All that remains is the simple, joyous act of living it out. This is the ultimate gift of the brutal price. The relentless encouragement to be utterly, magnificently free. The moment to fully step onto your new path is now. We have journeyed through the challenging landscapes of awareness. We began by facing the stark realization that seeing the truth demands a brutal price, the dissolution of your old reality. We walked through the chill of solitude, where the echoes of false connections faded into silence. We dared to enter the fire of vulnerability, shedding the ego's armor and embracing the terrifying, beautiful act of being truly seen. And finally, we learned to trust the flow, abandoning the futile struggle to control the tide of existence. But what is the lasting conclusion of this journey? What is the final reward for paying this existential cost? The ultimate insight offered by Alan Watts is not a destination. It is the realization that the journey was the reward all along. It is the profound, liberating understanding that the brutal price you paid was simply the cost of shedding the illusion of separation. You thought you were giving something up, your comfort, your conformity, your safety. In truth, you were only giving up the anxiety of pretending to be something you were not. You exchanged the heavy cloak of pretense for the effortless lightness of being. Watts often spoke of the universe as a playful, self-hiding God, a cosmic joke where the divine plays hide-and-seek with itself, momentarily forgetting its identity just for the sheer thrill of the rediscovery. You, the awakened one, are now in on the joke. The seriousness with which society clings to its fabricated rules, its desperate scramble for ephemeral trophies, is revealed as merely the dramatic unfolding of the game. And your freedom is the right to stop taking the drama seriously. This is the definition of unconditional freedom. It is not the absence of problems, but the complete acceptance of the problems as part of the dynamic pattern of the universe. When challenges arise now, they no longer crush you because you know they are merely the dark side of the eternal rhythm, the valley that gives definition to the peak. The brutal price taught you not to fear the dark, but to trust the cycle. This acceptance is the final, complete surrender of the ego, the entity that always demanded certainty and permanence. Now you live without demanding an answer for tomorrow. You live without needing proof of your worth. You realize that your true worth is not something you earn. It is simply what you are. You are the universe expressing itself in this unique, fleeting, beautiful form. The cost has purchased your participation in the now. It is a participation that is fearless because it is detached from outcome. You can love fully because you don't need the love to last forever. You can create boldly because the possibility of failure is merely a feedback loop, not a definition of your soul. You can act authentically because the shame of judgment belongs to the fearful ego that you have already let go. Look back at the path you have traveled in these 5 steps. Every point of pain, every moment of isolation, every doubt that haunted you, was actually a chiseling away of the unnecessary. The stone was carved down to reveal the magnificent sculpture that was hidden within you all along. You did not become someone new, you became the real you, finally unburdened and unrestricted. This realization is the ultimate, profound aha moment. Your life is now a continuous masterpiece, written by the pen of spontaneity. Do not wait for a sign, a permission slip, or a perfect moment to begin living this new reality. The commitment was made when you first decided to see the truth. The journey is complete in the understanding. The living is merely the echo of that understanding in the world. Carry this final conviction forward. The brutal price was a tremendous gift. It freed you from the heavy bondage of illusion and returned you to the effortless grace of your own true nature. There is nothing left to achieve, only the joy of participation. Thank you for walking this path of inquiry with Alan Watts. May your life be the fullest expression of the truth you have so courageously accepted. And if this truth resonates deep within your liberated core, reaffirm your commitment once more. I accept the cost of truth.